Good evening and welcome to Freedom is a Constant Struggle with your host Kilu Nyasha, and board hopping for me is Peter Camarda. On September 11th, 2001, not one, not two, not three, but 4 airplanes managed to violate U.S. airspace. The ultimate result was that 2,752 people lost their lives. The World Trade Center was destroyed, and 2 wars are still raging. On September 11th, 1973, in a U.S.-sponsored military coup, Chile's newly elected Marxist president Salvador Allende was assassinated, followed by at least 3,000 civilians being mass murdered. On September 11th, 1988, Father Jean-Bertrand Aristide's church, Saint Jean Bosco, was attacked during Mass by the Haitian military, resulting in the deaths of at least 25 people and the burning down of the church. On a personal note, on September 11th, 1959, my mother died of bone cancer at the age of 37. Today's program will focus on September 11th, 1971, when my very special guest entered New York's Attica State Prison as an observer during a prison rebellion that ended with a military assault that killed 29 prisoners and 10 guards, with another 85 wounded, some of whom would die later. It's an honor and a pleasure to introduce to you Bobby Seale, founding chairman of the Black Panther Party, organizer, author, consultant, mentor, and current producer of Bobby Seale's R.E.A.H. Chronicles, an online social change magazine journal. A revolutionary humanist, Bobby also continues to speak at colleges and universities across the country about social change from the 60s to the future. Welcome to Freedom is a Constant Struggle, Bobby Seale.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And Bobby, before we get into Attica, will you tell us how the Black Panther Party started, and will you give especially our youth, an idea of the 10-point platform and program that you and Huey established?
Yeah, the Black Panther Party really evolved. How do I say this? It really evolved over 4 or 5 years, because I got off into social change about 1962, reading and researching African American people's history. The latter part of 1962, Martin Luther King came to the Oakland Auditorium to speak, and I rushed down there to see him speak. And I remember him concluding some parts of his speech where he said we were going to boycott these various companies that refused to hire black folks, and he was going to boycott Kilpatrick's Bread Company, he was going to boycott Langendorf Bread Company, he was going to boycott Wonder Bread Company. Martin Luther King said, and we want to boycott them so consistently and so profoundly, we want to make Wonder Bread wonder where the money went. And I was just truly inspired as a young man. After that, I'm watching and paying close attention to Malcolm X. He leaves the Nation of Islam in 1963. By 1965, he's killed. I have dropped my engineering design major and shifted over to political science. I've quit my engineering job. You know, I had an engineering job that I worked on 3.5 years on the Gemini missile program. I come from a very high-tech background. My point is that that's what happened to me, and I wanted to work in the grassroots community. And in fact, with Malcolm X's death, and I knew Huey Newton, and I had to find somebody to help me start a new organization when Malcolm X was killed. And with that, I tried to get Huey, and Huey was just in law school here in San Francisco, And of course, in and out of different organizational groups, I fooled around and ultimately got Huey to go with me to start the Black Panther Party. Actually, we reacted to a lot of different things, but one in particular was the beating of peaceful demonstrators in a march, an anti-draft march in 1966, 4 blocks from my home in North Oakland, California, near Berkeley. And they beat and viciously booted. And Huey, being in law school, argued the point that here were peaceful demonstrators exercising the First Amendment of the Constitution by a peaceful demonstration, but here were the police brutally and viciously beating peaceful demonstrators. Therefore, they were violating the law. That is coupled with the rampant police brutality in the black community that we decided to start a new political organization. But one of the things we would do is that we would patrol the police And since the group down in Los Angeles a year earlier following the Watts riot, a citizens group had a community alert patrol, with that group being brutalized after they attempted to observe police. They had no guns, and they was beat up, and their law books tore up, and their tape recorders smashed up and drugged downtown and locked up. So Huey argued the law. It was strictly from the law. This is a very important point people don't understand about the Black Panther Party. We decided we were going to patrol the police. We researched all the law and all the guns. We had law books, tape recorders, uniforms, etc. We researched everything and decided to go out and patrol the police. So this is point number 7 of the 10-point platform program, the Black Panther Party. And that particular was the one we moved on, that gave the Black Panther Party its notoriety, that gave that captured the imagination of the people in the community patrolling the police.
We want an end to police brutality in our community.
We want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of black people in our black community. We believe black people have a right to defend themselves from any racist attack whatsoever. But the 10-point platform and program really enumerated many more things. Right. A lot of people look at the 10-point, only this point number 7 factor. But number 1 was determining our own destiny, our own community, which meant we wanted freedom, but it meant that we needed to organize political, electoral, community power to get that. Number 2, full employment. Number 3, decent housing. Number 4, decent education that taught us our history. Number 5, an end to the robbery and exploitation of our African American community. Back in the first days, number 6 was we wanted all black men and women to be exempt from any military service because this country is not recognized in our Constitution, democratic, civil, human rights. Number 6 was later changed to 2 years later to need for free preventative medical health care. Number 7, end to police brutality. Number 8, all black men and women who've been tried by all white juries have a right to another trial. And another criticism, I think, number 8, on the penal legal system. And we summarized it. We wanted land, bread, housing, education, clothing, justice, and peace. Literally, when we finished that in the War and Poverty Office, by this time I'm not working an engineering job. I'm working for the city government of Oakland by the time we create this. And in the War and Poverty Office at night, after everybody's off work, I had the key to be able to get into this office. In North Huey's up in the law library for the legal aid department. Anyway, I was somewhere, and I found the first paragraph of the Declaration of Independence of the United States of America.
Yes.
So what happens is Huey saying, I found it. What? He said he found this ruling that we have a right to stand and observe police officers, a California State Supreme Court ruling. And then I said, wait a minute, Huey, look at this here. And it said, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for any one people to dissolve the political bondage which have connected them with another and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station in which the laws of nature and nature's God entitled them a decent respect to the opinions of humankind dictate that they should declare the causes which impel them, and as we paraphrase it, to get rid of that political bondage, okay? And the second paragraph, so this became the last point